Alrighty, happy Wednesday, everybody. For today's lesson, we're going to make sure that we have our composition book as well as our pencil. Now, remember, Miss Medina uses pen so that you guys can see it better, but in math, we're always going to want to use a pencil. So we're going to first open up our notebook today, and for today's lesson, we're going to be reviewing our base 10 blocks and our place value, so that you guys for your assignment today are going to compose numbers. So at the very top on the very first page of your notebook, we're gonna have our table of contents. Make sure you have this down because your table of contents is very important. It's going to tell you exactly what you have in your notebook. So here's your table of contents. And I'm going to skip 2 lines and I'm going to put a bullet. This bullet, they're important for lists so that you know exactly what you have or what you need in front of you. So our very first unit is going to be place value. And it is going to be, oh, you don't need a bullet here. This is chapter 1. So everything that we're going to use in our notebook right now is going to be chapter 1 because it is place value. So then what we're going to do, we're going to skip 2 pages. Here's my table of contents. I'm turning it. I'm going to turn 1 empty page, then 2. And at the very top here on our clean page, we're going to write base 10 blocks. Now we make sure that every page has a title. That way when we're looking back at our notes, when we're looking back at our notes, you can see what exactly it is we were learning that day. So today we're learning base 10 blocks, and I'm also going to put chapter 1 here at the top so that we know that it has to do with place value. Now remember, if you need more time, just pause the video so that you can finish up the section and continue to hit play. That way you can get these notes down. Remember, when we come back, you guys are going to bring this notebook with you so that we can continue working on it. So the first part we're going to just go over our base 10 blocks, kind of remember what it was. So our very first base 10 block, now the base 10 blocks have 2 names. Our very first one is a 1. And to draw it, there's 2 ways to draw it. You can draw it like this, which is how it looks. Now this one's a little bigger just because we're drawing it. Or, Ms. Medina, when we're doing math, I don't have the base 10 blocks on me, I usually draw it like this. Now this is a 1, or it is also called a unit. Remember, I said each block has 2 names. And then we're going to write the value. Try to think about what value means. What do you think it means? Value is how much the block is worth, or how much the number is worth. So right here, one of the names actually tells you the value already. So the value of this unit is 1. And there is that. So remember, this is just a review. You guys have we did a lot of this in 1st grade. Then I'm going to draw a line under. Remember, if you need more time, just pause the video. Our next block is a tens block. And we'll draw it just like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just try to make sure that you do have at least 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I didn't have 10. There's 9. And I just add 1 at the top. 10. Or we can draw it this way. And this is usually how you're going to see Ms. Medina draw it, just because it's a time saver. I know you want to call it a stick, but it is not a stick. Just like you, this block has a name. and it is a 10 or it is a rod. Excuse me. And the value of this block is 10. Now, why do you think it's called a tens block? Well, if you look right here, you'll notice that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 of the units that are made up to compose this rod. Now, there's some vocabulary we've heard. So the vocabulary we've heard so far: rods, units, value, compose. So those are just a few of the vocabulary words, and we'll go on to that lesson another time. So I'm going to draw the line here. Whoops. Our next block is 100. And this is how we'll draw this block. Now, if this one's 100, how many units, listen to that vocabulary, how many units do you think are in this hundreds flat? If you guessed 100, you are correct. And now we're going to see how many tens compose to make a 100 flat. I'm going to go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to go 10 across just so we can make our units. Crazy that we're about to draw 100 of them and you didn't even know it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll do this real quick. And I'll add one at the top. 10. Perfect. Now, that took us a long time, so there's also another way we could draw it. And it's just simply like this. So we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds. Now, this one also has a second name, and I've kind of already been saying it. It was just accidentally. It is called a flat. Now, the value of this flat is 100. Now, in first grade, we went over these blocks up until the end of the year. We have our ones, our tens, and our hundreds. But now that we're second graders, we're going to introduce a new block. This one we're going to count with. And this one is actually called a thousands. This one's called a thousands block. And I'm going to show you exactly how to draw that. Now this one, I'm only going to draw ones just because I don't draw in 1,000 units, because then I would be here all day. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a square right here. I'm going to put a dot in the middle of this square. Then from that dot, I'm going to use it as a corner for another square. And then now to make it, I'm going to connect the corners, top and top, bottom and bottom. And here is our thousands block, also known as a cube. And the value of this block is, you guessed it, 1,000. Now you want to make sure that you have a comma there. You're gonna need a comma if it's 1,000. And these are our base 10 blocks for the day, for your notebook, I'm sorry. So make sure that you copy this down into your notebook, just so you can go back to it for reference when you need it.